She's fresh, she's so fresh, exciting. She's so exciting to me. She's fresh, she's so fresh, exciting. She's so exciting to me. Oh! That has nothing to do with this episode, but I just felt like singing it, so deal with it. Today we're going to be talking about lighting systems and accessories. These are so essential to when you're setting up your lighting system because you want to have a certain look for your video, for your film. Now, depending on what you're doing for your shoot, a common lighting system that a lot of people use is something called the 3-point lighting system. And what does that entail? It comes up with 3 components. You have your key light, you have your fill light, and you have your highlight. The key light is the main light. This is going to be your big light in front of your subject, usually over at a 45-degree angle, and it is diffused because of how powerful the main light is. You don't want to blind your subject. And a common way to do that is by using soft boxes. Soft boxes are really easy to assemble sometimes. They can really poke you in the eye too. Anyway, what you do is you put your light source inside the soft box. Usually it's held up by Velcro, and that is your diffusion for the light. So when you set it up, bam, you got a nice bright light, and it's not blinding to your subject. That's your key light. Then you have your fill light. Now, because in this system you have your key light over 45 degrees, you're gonna have a lot of harsh shadows on the other side, or even softer shadows because of the diffusion. Now, to fix that, what you have is something called the fill light. That is a light that's on the other side of your subject, right about 45 degrees or so, and you position it and you set the intensity just to counter the shadows that are created on the subject, particularly around the eye sockets or the nose, right? Because it sticks out in Z space. And if you have your key light coming this way, then obviously it's going to create shadows on the other side. So that's important to keep in mind. The last piece of the 3-point lighting system is the highlight. Generally used to create this is the spotlight. What a spotlight is just basically taking your light source and it's really focused so that it has a really sharp circle on the edge of the light source. And typically this is put really up high and behind the subject, also at an angle, maybe even directly behind them, shining down just so it gives them a nice brim and edge on the subject. And this lighting system is always used in interviews and sometimes testimonials, and that's just because it gives depth and character to your subject rather than making them look completely flat against the background. And also keep in mind, when you're using this lighting system, you want to make sure that there is distance between them and the background, whether it's a backdrop or just a background of any sort, to create that 3-dimensional space. So that's all about the 3-point lighting kit. The next thing I want to talk about is the accessories for lighting. Without these accessories, you really can't pull them off. One thing that's really important is the actual stand for the lights, because without them, you can't position them in any way. Sometimes light stands can be used for other things, and I'll talk about that in a later episode, such as, you know, a slider or rail system for your camera. But again, I'll talk about that in a later episode. Another important accessory to have for lighting kits is sandbags. The reason why is because of incidents like this. We almost had an accident. Yeah, I saved my light from falling due to heavy wind that was unexpected. So that's why it's really important to have sandbags. It holds down your lights so that they don't move, it don't wobble or anything like that. They are firm. Usually a 5-pound or 10-pound sandbag will do the job. Another 3 crucial accessories that are important for having a lighting system is the bounce card. I did talk about this in the previous episode, and that basically takes your lighting source. If you're limited on how many physical lights you have, you can use a bounce card to manipulate a light to go around your subject if you want to fill in certain areas. So that's very, very useful. And then of course you need to have a white balance card. This card you can find anywhere. They're really portable. They're really tiny sometimes. You can fold them into little caps and wear them on your head if you want, although I think that's really silly, but you can do that. It is really important to have white balance cards because without them, you can't set your white balance for your scene, and therefore your colors will be messed up, and then you got to do the whole thing over again. The last accessory I want to talk about, which is important, but this only applies if you are using a backdrop of any sort that's like a solid color of a cloth or anything like that, whether it be a green screen, blue screen, a white backdrop, neutral gray, or even black. These are, what do you call these things? My God, I just, not pliers. What are they called? The thingies that you, they go like this. Oh my God, why did I just forget the name? How can I just forget the name? I can't remember the name right now, but just hang on a second. Clamps, yes, that's what they're called. Clamps. They're called clamps. These are really important to help stretch out the backdrop to make sure there aren't any creases. Of course, you should have a portable steamer on hand that can plug in and just add water to it, and just so you can get rid of the creases in your backdrop. But this is also important to help stretch out your backdrop as part of your lighting kit. Well, I think that covers all of that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to check out all the other videos in the playlist, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.